students, and welcome to today's lesson. I'm Ms. Lee.
And I'm Ms. Albina. Today, we will review what we've learned throughout this module. Are you ready? Grab your pencil and your science journal, and let's get started.
This butterfly needs your help. It was separated from its group during its seasonal migration. We need to help the butterfly find its way back to the group so that it can spend the winter with its group in Mexico. But how will we know how to help our butterfly? What does our butterfly need to survive its long journey south? Let's look at our anchor model. Maybe it has some clues to help us. Well, I see flowering plants. Those will provide our butterfly with the nectar it needs for food. And look, water. Our butterfly will definitely need something to drink as it travels. What else do you notice? Hey, do you see that tree? I think our butterfly might need protection from weather such as rain or snow. Let's help our butterfly get food, water, and protection. Our butterfly can get each of these at a pit stop along its way. But to unlock each pit stop and help our butterfly, you'll have to answer a question. Are you ready?
Here is the first pit stop, a stop for food. And here is the first question. What do fossils reveal about the past? Remember when I showed you this photograph of a butterfly fossil? It was uncovered by a paleontologist looking for the remains of an organism from long ago. Paleontologists have found fossils all over the United States, and we were surprised to learn that many of them were fossils of organisms that had lived underwater. What did these fossils tell us about the past environment of the United States? These fossils showed us that some environments looked very different in the past from the way they look now. Millions of years ago, the United States must have been covered in water. These fossils also showed us that the kinds of organisms that live in an area can change over time. Sometimes organisms move to new areas when an environment changes. And sometimes they become extinct. If a species is extinct, there is not a single organism of that species alive anymore. You know what? I think we have all the information we need to answer this question. So let's give it a try. Ready? What do fossils reveal about the past? Let's read each option and choose the best answer or answers. Is it A, fossils provide evidence about the kinds of organisms that once lived and what their environments were like? Or maybe it's B, some environments looked very different in the past from the way they look now. Could the answer be C, the kinds of organisms that live in an area can change over time? How about D? Sometimes organisms live in a new area, and sometimes they no longer live anywhere on Earth. So, what do fossils reveal about the past? Which choices answer the question? All of them do. All of these answers are correct. We did it! We unlocked the pit stop, and now our monarch can eat nectar from flowers as it journeys south.
Now that we've unlocked the first pit stop, it's time to move on to pit stop number 2. The second pit stop is a stop for water. We can unlock this pit stop by answering the question, how do organisms get what they need to survive? What do we know that can help us answer this question? Well, we found out that organisms live in habitats. Do you remember what a habitat is? A habitat is part of an environment. In fact, an environment is made up of many different habitats. A habitat can be natural or artificial, as long as it provides the organisms with everything it needs to grow and survive. A habitat is a system, which means its components interact and depend on one another. What do you think happens when there is a change to a system? What happens if, for example, a shark attacks a dolphin in a group? All the animals in the system can work together to cope with the change. In this case, the other dolphins can lift up the injured dolphin so that it can breathe. Isn't that amazing? Some animals live in groups that help members survive. Oh, and remember when we met Amos and Boris? I just love this story. We thought about Amos and Boris's characteristics. Do you remember what happened when Amos and Boris switched environments? Neither could survive in the other's environment. Why not? Why can't a mouse survive in the ocean and a whale survive on land? We learned learned that an organism's characteristics can make an environment more or less suitable for that organism. When the environment is suitable for an organism, the organism can survive. When the environment is not suitable for an organism, the organism may die. Wow, we know a lot about the ways organisms get what they need to survive. Let's answer this question and get our thirsty monarchs some water. How do organisms get what they need to survive? Remember, more than one answer might be correct. Is it A, organisms live in habitats that contain everything a particular kind of organism needs to survive? B, for any particular environment, some kinds of organisms can survive well, some can survive less well, and some cannot survive at all. Or C, some animals live in groups that help members survive. So, how do organisms get what they need to survive? Both A and C answer the question. Answer choice B is also a true statement, but it doesn't quite answer our question. Hooray! We unlocked the water pit stop, and now our monarch butterfly can get a well-deserved drink.
Now that we've unlocked the second pit stop, our monarch butterfly continues on its journey south. Our monarch butterfly has reached Mexico. To unlock this final stop, we need to answer the question, what happens to organisms when the environment changes? We spent time exploring ways an environment can change. Some changes are seasonal. Some are caused by severe weather, and some are caused by human activity. Remember when we explored what happens to forest animals when winter comes? Some animals stay in the environment and hibernate or find other ways to survive. Some animals may die, although we didn't identify any in our investigation. And some animals move away when the seasons change, such as monarch butterflies. This kind of seasonal movement is called migration. But what happens when there is a long-term change to an environment? For example, what happens to a forest environment when a company builds a parking lot there? How does the parking lot affect the organisms that live in the forest? Some animals, such as birds, might stay, and the company that builds the parking lot could design a solution to help the birds meet their needs in this changed environment. But other organisms have to move away, and some might even die. But some animals might actually move into the changed environment. Can you believe that the parking lot would create an environment that is suitable for some animals? Amazing. At the third pit stop, our butterfly is looking for protection, and I think we're ready to answer this question. Now, this final question is a little different. I'll read a statement, and you tell me whether the statement is true or false. Ready? When the conditions of an environment change, some of the plants and animals that live there stay and survive. Some move away, and some die. New organisms may also move into the changed environment. So, what do you say? True or false? Well, looking at our evidence, we can say that this statement is true. Yes, we unlocked the protection pit stop, and our monarch butterfly gets to relax among the trees.
We did it! Our monarch butterfly made it through all 3 pit stops. The butterfly got the food, water, and protection it needs to survive. Hooray! But our butterfly needs one more thing. It needs to spend the winter in Mexico, and to do so, it needs to find its group of butterflies to spend the winter with. You can help the butterfly by completing a task after this lesson. Your task will be to answer the question, how do butterflies survive over time in a changing environment? Before we go, I have a surprise for you. Remember these caterpillars? We saw them grow, form chrysalises, and now they are ready for a journey of their own. Goodbye, butterflies. Good luck. Let's review your task for today. Answer the question about how butterflies survive.